Why are the airlines in the Middle East so good? Not all airlines are created equal, so it matters which airline you transfer your hard-earned points to. The last thing you want to do is save points for many years, then book aspirational travel on an airline that leaves you underwhelmed during the flight experience. So yes, it very much matters on which airline you travel to get to your desired destination. I just happen to be born in the Middle East, Lebanon to be specific, if you couldn't tell already from my accent. But I swear that has nothing to do with why I think Middle East airlines are so good. Yalla, خليني أخبركم. For those new to the channel, I'm Richard Debs from R Squared Travel Rewards, and you guessed it, I'm an avid traveler. If you're watching this, you likely are too, so go ahead and subscribe to see how I use credit cards to enable this travel habit of mine. I was born and educated in Lebanon, which is located right here. عن جد مشتاق للبنان. Of course, I'm partial to the airline carriers based in the Middle East, but as luck would have it, these various Middle Eastern airlines just so happen to be amongst the best airlines in the world. But there's a reason for it. Many of these airlines are national airlines, and we all know that there's pride in being the national airline of a nation. There's another reason why these airlines are outstanding, and I'll cover that later in this video. Given that we're interested in transferring our credit card points for award travel, this video is limited to my top 5 Middle Eastern airlines in which we're able to transfer points directly or book through an airline partner. Here's our list. The two United Arab Emirates giants, Etihad Airways and Emirates. Then we have Qatar Airways, Turkish Airlines, and Oman Air. Oman Air? I can't transfer points from my credit card to Oman Air. I've got you. Hang in there. Yalla, let's start. Before I book any airline travel, I always refer to my handy dandy transfer partner cheat sheet. If you don't have one, I suggest that you identify the transfer partners which you enjoy or hope to fly, then arrange them by credit card issuer. If you like, ask for mine in the comments and I'll send it to you. Etihad Airways. It's the national airline of Abu Dhabi, but they're not part of the 3 airline alliances, Star, SkyTeam, and One World. You may transfer points directly to Etihad Airways from the following credit cards: Amex, Capital One, and Citi. Here are their airline partners which matter to me: Air Canada, Air France, KLM and Flying Blue, ANA, JetBlue, and Turkish Airlines. Hopefully, you've seen great videos of Etihad's premium class product. If you can find a reasonable award flight, you should go for it. There's no reason why you can't travel like the heavy hitters. But in our case, we do it by maximizing credit card points and bonuses. Next is Emirates, or as I like to say, Al-Imarat. It's the national airline of Dubai, or as I like to say, Dubai. You may transfer points directly to Emirates from all of the big 5 credit card issuers: Amex, bilt, Capital One, Chase, and Citi. They all transfer at a rate of 1 point to 1 Emirates mile. Unless you have bilt status, in which case you're gonna have crazy transfer boosts. Similar to Etihad, Emirates is not part of the 3 major airline alliances. However, it does have direct airline partners which include Air Canada, Qantas, and United. As a result, you may book Emirates using these partners, which is often cheaper than booking with Emirates directly. Emirates is well known for its premium bar and lounge, as well as its first class suite on its A380 beast of an airline. I haven't flown on its A380, but that will be changing very, very soon. Of course, my brother, who lives in Dubai, felt it necessary to send me pictures of his recent business class experience on an Emirates A380 flight from Dubai to the US. He better hope that I don't attempt to one-up him and splurge on an Emirates first class suite. Just kidding, there's no Emirates first class suite for me in the near future, but it's truly spectacular. Some of you might be aware that I've been stocking up on Emirates miles. I'm waiting for bilt to offer yet another 125% transfer bonus to Emirates. By the way, I recommend that you transfer your points to an airline when you have a specific flight in mind which you intend on booking. And this is because most airline miles expire. I'll share shortly in this video why I need as many Emirates miles as I can get my hands on. Next is Qatar Airways, which is the national airline of Qatar. You may transfer your points directly to Qatar Airways from the following credit card issuers: Amex and Citi. Qatar Airways is part of the One World Airline Alliance. This gives it a leg up on Etihad and Emirates, and as a result, it offers more routes. It also has airline partners, and the ones that I care about are the ones with Oman Air, JetBlue, and Rwanda Air. Once, I was seeking the cheapest flight possible to Kenya, which included 2 layovers, one in Doha and one in Kigali, Rwanda. This was my first flight ever on Rwanda Air. I need to take a quick moment to call out that you all should add Rwanda to your bucket list. It's super safe and it happens to be the safest country in Africa. It's super clean and one of the few places in Africa where your safari will include gorilla sightings. Qatar Airways is known for having the best business class product, which includes the often talked about Q Suite. The Q Suite's claim to fame is its double bed option for couples. Can you imagine? Next is Turkish Airlines, which is the national airline of Turkey, or as I say, Turkiye. You may transfer points directly to Turkish Airlines from the following credit cards: Bilt, Capital One, and Citi. Though I love Amex and I like Chase, I maximize my spend on Bilt and Citi cards because of Turkish Airlines. Who doesn't mind a layover in Istanbul? I'm not too happy about Turkish's recent devaluation, though the redemptions are still almost always better than on Emirates. However, sometimes we just want to experience some of the bling of Emirates. I tend to find myself using the Turkish Lounge, which is usually available via Priority Pass. Turkish Airlines is part of the Star Alliance, so it's pretty easy to also book Turkish via Alliance partners. Lastly, we have Oman Air, which is the national airline of Oman. This is the only airline on the list which you cannot transfer your credit card points to. So why is it on the list? They are a future One World member, but in the meantime, they have some airline partnerships and co-chair agreements, which is great news for us. Eventually, you'll be able to transfer your credit card points to other One World Alliance airlines and subsequently book flights on Oman Air. For now, Oman Air has a co-chair agreement with Qatar Airways, Etihad, Turkish Airlines, and Kenya Airways, just to name a few. Wait, what's a co-chair agreement? It's a business arrangement where airlines may market and sell a flight of another airline under their own designation. A great example is Delta and KLM Air France. You may have booked a Delta flight, but when you show up at the airport, you're flying on either KLM or Air France. It allows the airline to appear to have flights to more destinations than in reality. But it works for us passengers as well, because in this example, we don't need to book connecting flights. We book it all with Delta and then let them do their magic behind the scenes. Oman Air's airline partners include Air Canada and United. This means that you can book some Oman Air flights through the Air Canada and United websites. Oman Air is clearly on a lesser tier when it comes to the big four and is always playing catch up. It offers a good product on its Dreamliner aircraft, but it has a long way to go to compete head to head with the aforementioned airlines. Some of you might be wondering why I didn't include Saudia, which is a member of SkyTeam. I could easily transfer MR points from American Express to Delta and search for reward flights on Saudia Airlines. But there is no way, I repeat, no way, that I'm prepared to board a flight that is over 8 hours and not have a few glasses of wine to tie me over. Having been born in the region, I fully understand the requirement for a dry airline. But I can't imagine Saudia ever being in the same class as Emirates or Qatar Airways because business class passengers on long-haul flights require soft products to include fine dining and delightful wines. If you're into travel and you're at the stage of transferring points to airline partners, you're likely excited that you were able to transfer your points and got upsized value in booking an award ticket. However, the next logical step is for you to start thinking about the airline on which you're about to travel and ultimately the type of aircraft, because you should now be seeking specific airline hard and soft products to enhance your travel experience. I'm not talking about chairs and cushions here. By hard product, I'm talking about the configuration of the airline. What does business class look like? Is it a 222 setup? Is it a 121 setup? And soft products refer to the customer service and the dining experience. We're not gonna geek out on aircraft types in this video, but it's an area that you should be mindful of because it matters. For example, if you're flying on a narrow-bodied aircraft like a 737, you should not expect an amazing business class experience because there's only so much they can do in that space. Whenever I'm booking travel, I'm mindful of the aircraft type and always prefer a Boeing 777, the 787 Dreamliner, or the Airbus A350 and the A380 beasts of an aircraft. By the way, I try my best to avoid flying 737 MAX 8s. Of course, you can't control what airlines do when they change aircrafts after you've arrived at the airport. But I don't knowingly book 737 MAX 8s. Ever. Here's why.
Boeing is under pressure this morning after the New York Times reports an FAA audit of the manufacturer's 737 MAX production found dozens of issues.
Whenever you book a Middle Eastern airline on these aircraft types, you can expect excellent flying experiences. Yani an jed, excellent. I've yet to find an opportunity to fly on the 747-8 jumbo jet, affectionately known as the Queen of the Sky. If you're nostalgic about travel, you'll want to fly on this before they all go away. I've noticed that Lufthansa offers this aircraft type on flights from the US to Europe. I'm tempted to book Lufthansa through United, which would require a layover in Europe. But whenever I intentionally do a layover, I prefer to fly Middle Eastern Airlines. Middle Eastern Airlines matter to me because I usually fly premium economy, and as stated, these airlines offer the best experiences if you're not going to be in business class. Richard, I thought you only fly business class. I fly business class if I can get a one-way redemption for under 100,000 points. And there's a reason for that. I've created my own hub and spoke model. Have a look. I have an upcoming trip where I'm traveling to Africa. My main destination will be Kenya, and from there I will spawn a series of flights during my extended stay. My travel looks like this, with Kenya being my hub. Given such plans, I try not to exhaust tons of points flying business class and then having to come out of pocket too early on an extended stay to book add-on flights. As stated, I rarely travel business class because I need to maximize my travel opportunities. But hopefully you can appreciate how to take your travel game to the next level by sampling some of the very best airline products available. Be intentional in selecting your airline and even more diligent in selecting the right type of aircraft. Whenever possible, experience travel on Middle Eastern Airlines. You'll experience Middle Eastern hospitality, which is second to none. I would love to hear about your experiences where you've traveled on the airlines mentioned. If you're a traveler to Asia, the Far East, or Australia, I'd love to learn about your airline choices. ANA, Singapore Airlines, or Qantas. Please share in the comments. Thank you for watching until the end. Since you've gotten this far, it only makes sense to like, share, and subscribe to help bring this channel some visibility. As always, take care and be good to each other.